Hey everybody. So I just finished setting up a new aquascape and this is going to be for my cherry shrimp. They are just breeding like crazy and I love it, and I wanted to make them a nicer home that I can just sit and stare at because I like watching them just do whatever. But so I'm going to show you how I built how I put everything together, but also everything in here, like all of the plants, are just easy bulletproof plants. Aside from the lily, we're going to see about that. I'm not sure about that. I'm going to do my best to grow that thing, but everything else in here you can pick up at like PetSmart, or Petco. Um, so yeah, I mean, all this stuff, all these plants are just like super easy, just bulletproof plants. And then eventually, I'm going to have some kind of a carpet because a lot of this stuff likes to carpet, like Java moss, hair grass, um, Sagittaria, stuff like that. So, anyways, yeah, on with it. All right, I'll show you how this all came together. Hey everybody. So, if you've been following along with what's happening on my channel, um, some of the stuff that I've been doing, I've been trying to get some good shrimp colonies going, and I did get a good colony. It's going. Basically, the room is just getting too. It's the middle of the summer. The room is getting too hot, um, and instead of trying to figure out how to work around all that, I'm just going to start a new tank that's going to be kind of an aesthetic, like a nice to look at shrimp colony. And I got one of these 14-gallon Aqueon frameless tanks. I actually got two of these, and then I want to set them right next to each other. But I think they're actually really good kind of quality from what I can tell. It's like the silicone is just barely visible. These are a big upgrade from like the Aqueon tanks that we all know and love, right? Or hate, whatever. So I have a just like a cardboard box set up. And I want to do something with dragonstone. So I'm just kind of playing around with this stuff. Like, it's going to be easier for me to like glue stuff together in here, and kind of like mess with things and then move it, like plop it into the aquarium later. So yeah, I am going to be incorporating an under gravel filter into this. So I kind of want to like hide the lift tube. I'm not really sure how I want to do that just yet. So I'm still kind of like moving stuff around. So if I take a little bit of toilet paper, pop it in there where the connection is, and then put some super glue in there. Then when it dries, it cures like totally aquarium safe. So then after I glue up the little spot, the little join, This is the sand from the creek near my house. You can see that it matches pretty well. It looks pretty, looks a lot like the stone. So if I glue those two pieces together, it's a little bit hard to tell where the little joint is. But yeah, this just takes time. It takes a little bit of patience. You have to wait for the glue to dry. You can use something like this, like a cyanoacrylate activator. So it just really speeds up it really speeds up how fast the super glue cures. It makes it cure way faster. But you have to kind of get in there, build up the little connection points, and then fill it in after. But then once you do, it turns pretty solid. Okay, so you can see how this is, I don't want to move it around too much, but you can see how this is mostly like cured together with these connection points. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go around, and like reinforce other spots and then pour sand on top of it so that it looks a little more natural. But that's going to be the main thing that kind of hides my my lift tube back there for the undergravel. And then I think I'm going to kind of set things up like how I want them. And then I'm going to carry everything, just going to kind of like carry everything up to the tank and then pop it in like that and kind of keep it in my memory like how things are set up. Still not sure about this. I think I might put some window screen stuff on top of here to keep the fine sand kind of stuff from going through here, because I am going to be using some sand as substrate. I'm going to be using something else too. It's sort of like, it's like ADA Amazonia kind of, but it's, it's like a gravel that's sort of a clay, like gravel that's but it's sort of reddish looking. But I think I'm going to take some like weed net, like for your garden or like window screen or something, and put it on top of this and glue it down. And then I'm going to carry everything up to the aquarium and then plop it in like this. Okay, get everything kind of arranged how I want it. Super glue is cured. So I'm going to take all this up to the aquarium, pop it in. I got my weed mesh stuff on the undergravel, and then I'm going to put substrate in. And then I'm going to put some plants in. Okay, so I have most of the hardscape in how I want it, I think. So what I was thinking, what I want to do is I want to make some little trees. And originally what I was planning to do was to glue something to the little bottoms of these guys and then sort of bury it in the substrate. Sort of like, those plastic aquarium plants. But I kind of like, I don't know, I'm kind of liking this. So what I want to do is put some stuff in here that will sort of grow out, and then as the power head, shoots water over it, it'll sort of trail off this way. So I want these to sort of go in this direction. But I'm actually liking how that looks with it having one tree kind of up here and one little tree down here. So, okay. So I think I'm going to leave that. And then just to show you like how I was planning on doing this. So I have some plastic card, and this stuff is just styrene plastic. And then I'm just going to cut a little piece out of this and then glue it to the bottom so that it can be weighed down by the substrate. And then I'm gonna glue or just maybe just tie some plants into these little branches. But okay, getting ahead of myself. So that first. Okay, so just super glued a little piece of plastic card onto the bottom of this little tree branch thing. And then that should be enough to just kind of hold it into the substrate in there. Okay, so I just gave this stuff a really good rinse. Took it outside, put it under the hose, just to make sure that I wasn't adding a whole bunch of dust to the aquarium. Don't want another diadem battle. You can watch my kitty litter planted tank video if you want to hear that story. But the stuff, it's basically like the same as ADA Amazonia, but it's not going to have like any not going to have any ammonia in it. You know, it's not like it is a bioactive type of a substrate because it is like really porous, you know, so this stuff will, like bacteria will colonize this stuff and live in it. And that's gonna be a big chunk of the filtration is just the this getting cycled in here. But it doesn't have any ammonia in it or nitrates or anything like that. So, but I'm going to make sure and cover the undergravel with it to so I don't want any kind of like bare spots where the water can circulate without going through the undergravel. Make sure that I get back here too. But I kind of want to slope everything up so that it sort of everything goes this direction. Got some water. Don't want to settle things too much, but I do want to kind of get the the dust and stuff, you know, get the rocks, sort of the tops of the rocks, so that I can see them. And I'll probably end up like doing a few water changes later with this stuff. I just want to kind of get things going. Got some muln in there, and so just dirty tank water to kickstart the cycle in this tank. And it's going to have some nitrates too in it for plants to get going. So I I waited, literally waited for the dust to settle. Kind of just let this thing like sit overnight. And I slept on it. I let the dust settle. I just wanted to kind of like clean the glass a little bit, take a look at it, see if I really like the hardscape, how it is, before I commit, and start planning. So, it's growing on me, right? Like, I like it more and more. At first I was like, no, I don't know. But my vision is to take Bucephalandra and kind of like tuck it into all of the little cracks and crevices on the dragonstone, and then I want to take Java moss and then just do like a Java moss carpet, and then I'm thinking I want to put something up here like on these branches that will ideally turn red, and really just play up the high contrast, like red and green, and then I have some other stuff like, let's see if I want to put all that in later. But that's kind of the main vision. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of those plants, and then I'm going to, I have them going in other tanks, so I'm going to grab some of that stuff, pop it in here, and then see how I feel about it. I just want to start with the Java moss, and this is going to be like my carpet, and I want to just see how it looks with kind of like some high contrast, and then I think I'm going to put some Cardinalis on these branches, kind of tie it in there. So this stuff like kind of wants to like naturally float, so I can just like pop it in there, kind of tie it like in like that, and then it'll grow up like that. But before I do that, I do have some stuff like this. Drawing a blank on what this is at the moment, but if I do put it in here, I'll figure it out. Okay, so now I'm just gonna break up the Java moss and kind of spread it around, and this will just help it grow, sort of encourage it to do its thing. And it's like when you chop up Java moss, it's like he loves me. It encourages like new points of growth, so basically you kind of double the the amount of growth, because it gets pretty dense, and then it's like tries to grow on top of itself, and makes like giant clumps like this. So when you divide it and break it up, you're actually kind of doing it a favor, helping it to spread itself. And I can put it on it's gonna like, it will attach to the dragonstone, It likes to stick to things, and the dragonstone's a little bit porous. So eventually, it'll stick to everything in here. But I'm starting to think that I don't really even need to have any of this stuff like grow immersed. Like I got these guys' roots in there pretty good, and I don't think they're really going anywhere. So I'm actually thinking about just going ahead and flooding the tank. So the only thing that I was thinking with the Bucephalandra is that I might have to glue it if I really want it to stick in some of these spots, but it's actually kind of like, if you sort of press its little rhizome, like tuck it in to little like cracks and crevices and stuff like that, you can kind of get it to just stick there on its own. like especially with like dragonstone and Sirius stone, because it has those nice cleaves in it. So I think I'm gonna see if I can get away with not gluing any boosts in, and just kind of like tucking it into these little cracks and crevices and stuff. And if I can just get it to stay in there. Because that's if it wants to come loose, it's going to come loose. But if it wants to kind of stick in there, then it will. Just by my force of will, I'm going to push your little rhizome into that little crack, and then you're going to stay there. You know you like your new home. Just go in. Okay, so yeah, I've got some, some stem plants and stuff like Lowigia, and what I can do though too with like the Lowigia and this stuff, it loves to put out these really long runners, where it's trying to sort of reach the surface. So if you have like a pot of this stuff, you can just grab some of these runners and then kind of like do something like this, So if you can't tell, I'm getting ready to flood the tank. Because there isn't really anything in here that's going to get too much benefit, from trying to carp it. It's not like I have like Monte Carlo or anything in here. And like the Bucephalandra is kind of, it's going to dry out. Like a lot of this stuff is going to dry out if I don't do something to keep it either submerged or like constantly come in and like hit it with a spray bottle or something like that, which I'm not really like about that life. This is the thing that I'm really worried about, is that this is going to want to float. This is anchored in by a piece of plastic card. I might not need 2 trees though. If I flood this and one of these starts to come up, then I might just do like 1 tree. I'm really liking the look of this one though in the middle, this like kind of centerpiece like bonsai thing. Okay, I decided that I'm just flooding. We're just going with it. So I just wanted to show you kind of what I'm doing a little bit. I'm trying to make sure that the Bucephalandra is like stuck into its little spots and stuff, and then I'm also trying to sort of like move the substrate a little bit to like show off the rocks in some places, kind of creating like little natural little weirs, I guess. I don't know what you call them. But yeah, getting the substrate to like go where I want it. And then I think that the bonsai is going to just look cool as a focal point, like right in the middle. And then as soon as I turn on the power head, all the stuff is just going to instantly clear. The water is just going to like instantly clear as it starts cycling through all of that substrate. Okay, so the tank is flooded, at least enough to start running the power head, and then I want to see if it does what I want it to do, which is blow everything in this direction, and then have it look like the bonsai is kind of, been in this breeze in this little valley. I gotta say though, like I wasn't feeling it this morning. I was thinking about just pulling it apart and doing something else, but it's really grown up. I mean, like putting the plants in there, I'm kind of in love with it now. But okay, time to turn on the power head. See how this looks. Oh yeah, there it goes. The the water is just like instantly clearing as it cycles. But yeah, that's the look that I was going for. I think I might put something in the back, like where the power head is, to kind of cover that up a little bit more. Maybe some bacopa or I don't know, like some kind of a stem plant, like an acris or something back there, and grow really tall and then get blown by the current. But this is my vision, and everything is staying in place. Like the Bucephalandra is staying, just from being pushed in there, just from having it like shoved, having its rhizome kind of shoved into the cracks of the dragonstone. That's enough to keep it in its little spot. So yeah, eventually I want this to be a shrimp tank. I've got the shrimp feeder thing in there because if I can get them to come to the front and eat up here, and I can watch them and stuff, that'd be cool. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get some more cardinalis and put that into the branches of the bonsai. And but pretty much all this stuff you could get at PetSmart. I was just thinking about that, like, dwarf hairgrass, java moss, I'm gonna remember what you are, cardinalis, like all this stuff, like, you can find that all here at PetSmart. So I might just do that. I might just go grab a few more things at PetSmart and then plant the rest of this stuff. And like one thing I always say about PetSmart is that, like, if they can keep it alive, you can keep it alive. Okay, so I remembered everything that's in here, all the plants. So I just wanted to kind of go in and name everything that is planted in here. Okay, so dwarf hairgrass, right? Sagittaria. I'm not sure if that's dwarf Sagittaria or just regular Sagittaria. I have Bucephalandra tucked into a lot of the some little spots in the dragonstone, like back here. It's mostly back here, but that stuff will, it will grow out, and it's not a really fast grower, but it's a really easy plant. I would highly recommend it if you are new to aquascaping, new to keeping plants in your tanks. Definitely give Bucephalandra a try. And it doesn't like to have its little roots in the substrate. What it likes is to have its little rhizome like tucked into a little rock somewhere, like a little crack, a little crevice. And then have some current on it. It likes to have a little bit of current blowing on it. And then up in here, the only thing that is going to be hard to get a hold of, I found this at an aquascaping place in Denver. So it's going to be hard to find, but this is a lily. And I don't know if that's, so far it looks good. I'm not really sure. We'll see. We'll see if it makes it, but if it does, it'll be really cool. And I've never tried to grow one before, so I have no idea how tough it's going to be, how much light it likes, and all that. But then up here, this is Cardinalis lobegia, and that stuff will trail off, and it grows, and it wants to grow kind of like long stem kind of stuff. But I think it's perfect for the bonsai, and it will turn red if it gets enough light. It'll stay red if it gets enough light, and so I'm hoping that if I keep enough light on it, that, you know, it's gonna pop out, turn nice and red. And so I'm cycling everything in here. There are some little shrimp. They're kind of doing their thing. You know, it might be a little bit hard to see, but there are some shrimp, some like baby ram's horns, I think is what they are. I think they're ram's horns or bladder snails, pond snails. But they just hitched a ride in on some plants, and that's fine. You know, they're gonna get bigger, and then they're just gonna kind of cycle the tank. So, and then I'm going to be feeding the tank, right, to get things set up. So what I have is, let's see if I can do this with one hand. What I have is, this is just like powdered, like ground up flake food, and then a little bit of spirulina powder mixed in. So basically I'm gonna put like a pinch of this stuff in every day, you know, to just kind of get the tank cycled, get things going. And I want, you know, I want green algae. I don't want a bunch of diatom algae. So I'm trying to sort of colonize the tank with spirulina, so that you get that green algae going instead of like brown algae, you know. And also it's gonna kind of collect up here a little bit on the glass, and the little baby snails are gonna eat it and stuff, and eat and pee and poop and get the tank cycled and ready for the other inhabitants, which is going to be shrimp. This is going to be my new cherry shrimp breeder / home. So anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.